Welcome to Sonderling Inc., episode 42. My name is Sam Leonard, and I have some players.
I am Easeborn, and I'm playing the Goblin Wizard Strix.
I am Holocall, playing a human fighter called Holocall.
I'm Inter, playing a human rogue called Horgold Wolfswift.
I am Vosky. I'm playing Virgerus, the elf.
I am Xurder, playing the Kobold Ranger Grunthos.
Some stuff happened last time. Who wants to go over what that was?
Well, we managed to get back to our ship, but something was off. There was a slumped man sitting at the deck. We paid some guards before we left. Apparently, it was one of them. But in closer inspection, he was dead, clean slit throat. We went on the ship and we spotted two kind of devilish, demonish people / monsters. We kind of went ham on them, including transforming one into a salamander several times. It was pretty fun.
I'm amazed that worked, but yep, it did.
Well, I mean, I still went down because I'm not that great at catching salamanders. And well, after we eventually managed to get rid of him, we inspected the boat of damage, and everything was trashed, kind of. But after cleaning everything up and doing some research on what was broken, what needs to be fixing, and what needed fixing to fix it, we decided to take a rest. Which was when everything went south. We kind of woke up or became conscious inside of a circle of statues representing most of the gods. I'm missing one, including a sort of menacing kind of moving thing that was the jet one and one missing one was the Farah god, which we mentioned. We have a kind of stone form, and a new one, which was the Headless Knight. My character just tried moving towards the opposite side of the Headless Knight, which was kind of futile. And well, some stuff happened, but maybe that's for the other people too.
I shot at the headless one, but he kind of dusted off and now is rebuilding himself. I don't know exactly how.
I was trying to figure out where we are, if we are still on the same plane of existence, if we are conscious or is it a dream. Just all such things.
Grunthos is eyeing this spot of the empty spot in the circle where Farah's god must have been, because he's holding the heartstone of Ruby.
Now I was checking out the first month of winter, the god of that.
All right. Yeah, so that is accurate. Striggs, you were going to cast Legend Lore.
Well, realizing it was kind of futile to move to the god of winter, since it kind of repels the gem, I was trying to ward off to the left and try and get as close as possible to one of the statues, and then cast Legend Lore indeed. Cast takes a little while, so.
Range of self?
Well,
name,
yeah.
Person, object. Oh, so you... Yeah. Okay. So everybody hears kind of a rolling with which statue did you think of when you were casting that?
Well, it depends on where I would kind of get close enough to possibly touch one.
You don't have to touch them.
I know, but I
Okay.
still would.
You still would. All right. You
As long as it's not the Headless Knight.
So you find yourself less repelled by the other statues, but not actually able to like get close enough to reach out a hand to touch while you're holding the stone. There's less resistance, but there's that same sort of magnet's wrong pole resistance no matter which statue you get to.
Even if I would hold it in one hand and then try and touch the statue with the other hand.
Yeah, it's like
My
your broadest reach is maybe an inch, and that's if you're like really stretching.
Okay, well,
And the like holding it out in one arm and like reaching with the other arm, it's like you find your grip slipping on the stone. But you can still cast Legend Lore. You don't actually have to touch any of them.
Right. Okay, I'll just do it with one that's slightly close, like at least a quarter of the way of a circle away from the ledge of the one of the Headless Knight.
Well, you could which gemstone, which month of gemstone?
Link to the list. It would be like 4 gods to the left, 3 gods to the left of the center winter month. So it would be center spring, right?
Center spring would be Jade, would be Raya.
Right. Yep. There you go.
So everybody hears, in Strigg's voice, the sound of Strigg's reading off of an ancient tome or book, in your preferred language. So whatever language of your birth and growth. It's Elvish, yeah. Elvish for Vergeros, Draconic for Grunthos, Common for Horgold and Hollock, probably Goblin for Striggs.
Yes.
So you hear gotta actually load up her page. You hear, how do I want to phrase this? Before you stands the remains of the god the god of life and plants and spring. She formed from the formless and gave birth to the first living, or the first green verdant plants upon this world. In her time, she tended to every garden and cove that grew upon the world. Every plant is her child. Every animal her every animal her niece or nephew. In the year as I know it, you speaking of as yourself, after Jet 4, she was captured by the cultists of the god Jet, whose name, oh shoot, doggone it, name, hold that thought. Actually, no, I get a better place to get it. I'll come back to his name. And those cultists captured her heart and stored it away inside Raya. Actually, paused thought, Raya was the out of character. Raya was the temple that was on that the dragon was in, correct?
The first encounter we had with the vampire was Raya.
Okay, good. I was correct. Was stored inside the great hammer, and upon her third 100 years inside of that hammer, her consciousness fled, and her power rested for the next 6,000 years, awaiting the time where it could be reawoken. And then you hear kind of like the sound of a turning page, and then the voice fades out, and we're going to that. Actually, that is better. Hold on. There we go. Hold on, I will come up with the name that I want, but it takes me a minute because I thought about this, but I didn't actually do it. Just that. That. Generate. All right. There we go. The name given for the jet is, yes, Adnan, Adnan. Yeah, so that's what you like, the completion of your spell. Everybody hears that spoken in your voice in their preferred language.
If I look at Jet, does it seem like anything different, or like
you see a gigantic like grin on his face. The thing that's a little weird about this grin is like the inside of his mouth, his teeth, his tongue, all of those things. Kind of has that feral, almost half open grin. But they're made of the same kind of inky black that the rest of him is made of.
Did it feel like the voice came from within us or from one of the statues?
It felt like the voice was heard from outside of you, from as if you were seated in a room, say a library, like a classroom, and there was like a professor up front speaking to you.
Oh, I hate class.
So think like a professor's, like a lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And no, there are not too many teeth.
Do I know if we are still on the same plane of existence as the world? The known world where we came from,
Material
like
plane.
the ship and such?
This does not feel like the prime material plane. Do you have anything that would let you know about planar stuff?
he has spell the teleportation circle.
I have the teleportation circle, yeah.
You can activate
That's
it and
why I
see if it works or not works.
That was the reason why I wanted to know.
Pop the teleportation circle text in if you can, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't allow interplanar travel.
When you first... So you can only travel within the same plane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you, in an attempt to gain knowledge about this place, you cast teleportation circle. It, like many things, seems to have a much stronger effect, or different. It's like a little weird. You you can't go from here to, like, you can't make the connection to from here to any of your, like, you can't get it to go open to any of the other, like, teleportation locations
Yeah,
you know
the
of.
known sigils.
But you do get the, like, you get the sigil for this place.
Nice.
So you know how to get to here, but teleportation circle itself is not enough to get you from home to here. There is, however, a permanent, like, there is a, it's not etched in, like, burned into the floor, but they're in the texture of the floor. You can see the circle that you would arrive in upon arriving here with some sort of interplanar travel.
Okay. So I learned something at least.
Yeah, you know you are not on the prime material plane. Where this is a lot more nebulous.
Can I
Does-
use? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can I use the ring that we got, the whisper ring,
To contact Magda.
to contact Magda if she may be of any help, or you?
Great idea.
You whisper.
Were you
into
thinking the same tricks or not?
You
Great
whisper.
idea.
you whisper into the ring, and there's no response. Like, you don't know if it worked or didn't work.
Okay. But anyway, I use the whisper ring to say to all the rest of the party so they know we're not in the same plane, material plane. That I can do, right?
Yes, you absolutely can do. Everybody, it's more immediate. So it's, magic is in a sense more real here than you're used to. More powerful, or you're not 100% sure.
What is the ground here? Is it like dirt?
Give me and give me. There's no sanity rolls in this. So you look down at the ground and you start thinking about what in the heck is this. Give me a wisdom roll, please.
Autosave?
Wisdom save.
18.
You start thinking about it real hard, and then your brain kind of rebels and goes, "I probably shouldn't think about that."
Great.
It's like surreal in a very real, like, it's it's not dirt, and it's not stone, and it's not you, like, your brain was starting to tick off it's not this, is not this, is not this, is not this.
Can I figure out if I can burrow? That was kind of what I was going for.
You cannot.
Okay. Great.
All right. I think we should check in with what Grunthos is up to.
Probably.
What makes you think I'm doing anything?
I think you all are doing something. I would like to know what it is you're doing.
I was contemplating trying to help Striggs get closer with some help, but he did something.
It's up to you.
I have an idea. Your gem is pulled towards one spot. Mine is repelled from like all the gods.
Maybe I
don't
can
know.
help as well. I have the immovable rod with me.
Yeah, this is like stationary though.
Yes, but maybe I can put it close to and you can pull yourself towards it with that rod.
You can definitely try.
Question: did you try to move closer to Jet also?
No, not Jet, not the Headless Knight.
Someone's scared.
Strix is very scared.
That's a sound we don't like.
Horgold, what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the first winter month,
Mhm.
and well, asking in general from, can you help us? We need to defeat this leech, and do you know the knight?
You get no response. The statue is, if it weren't like translucent, you would think marble.
Does it feel like marble?
Reaching out to which statue do you touch, Hollock?
Something. I guess it's near the where I am because I shot the knight. I think.
Topaz or fire opal?
Carnelian.
Subsea is Carnelian, yeah.
Okay, then it's fire opal.
So
because the knight was between fire opal and topaz.
Correct. So reaching out to touch the statue of the fire opal, or the statue of the fire opal heart. The statue is warm to the touch. Soft is not exactly the right term. Like, so incredibly polished, smooth that your fingers, like, it feels soft because as you just like touch it, your like fingers brush against it and kind of move around it in a very natural way. You see a faint purple light slowly filling the like the statue. So this like clear translucent statue that's very incredibly smooth. Yeah, marble is accurate, but it's way smoother than any human has made a marble statue. And you see kind of a purple light flowing out from your hand or from your fingertips from wherever you're touching this thing. And you all hear in the back of your mind a voice saying, like, how do I put it? Making a happy sound. I guess not saying anything, but making a happy sound. And Hollick, you see the purple accelerating and filling this form, and you feel like energy flowing through you and out of you. Give me a dexterity roll and a wisdom check.
Dexterity plain or safe?
Plain. Okay, so you can do whatever action you want. Wisdom, please.
Plain or check?
Not a save.
Plain.
Just plain.
Wow.
I'm not very wise, I think.
Very nimble though.
Talking about extremists.
So I'm gonna take care of control of your character for a second.
Oh no.
So you pull your hand. You hear in the back of your head, no, not her. And your hand pulls away, and like as you pull away, you kind of feel this energy suck back into your body. And you find yourself striding toward the statue with the emerald in it. And you find yourself like speeding up as you go. So everybody else, you guys see Hollock touch a statue and some like purplish light flow into the statue, and then you hear this happy sound, and then kind of a no, not this one, and you see him take off at a first kind of a couple of steps of a walk, and then a dead sprint toward the emerald the statue with the emerald in it.
So towards Daha.
Towards Daha. Can anybody beat a 23 on dexterity?
Technically, I can be the same if I.
Horgold could have.
Nope.
All right. So,
Nope.
none of you get to, like, none of you intercept Horgold. I don't know if you would intercept, but if you're going to try, you're going to get there right after Hollock launches himself bodily at the emerald statue and latches onto the emerald with both hands. So yeah, you land like leaping at him just short of being able to block his movement. And you see like a bright ultraviolet light flow into this statue as Hollock grips the form, like light pouring out of his eyes and mouth. Hollock, you're screaming, but you don't know why. And then you collapse to the ground. And standing before you is a now living statue. She's moving like moving back and forth, kind of like examining her own form. Everybody recognizes her face. I'll give you two guesses to figure out whose face it is, but everybody recognizes her face. And Hollock, your character is now okay. You are now a 10th level paladin. So we'll work out the math of that later. We'll probably end up changing. So you're now a 10th level paladin. But you still have the arcane blast ability, just as if you were still a warlock. However, instead of doing whatever ability it normally does, it does radiant damage instead.
Yay, I guess.
We'll figure out what all that looks like afterward. So the purple glow of Aurora's form is like slowly shifting, and you all hear a scream, like a powerful yes, like it ends with a question mark, and this like purple glow flows through her, and then like the emerald in her chest like flashes bright green, and she is now a living green green statue before you. The statue's color is no longer translucent, and you can like the heartstone is just barely protruding from her chest, right where her heart would be. The like color of her form is that color of green that you get just before a tornado lands on the ground. If any of you have been through tornado weather, it's kind of an eerie, surreal color. And yeah, so that happened. Hollick, she's happy is not the right term, but you can like in her mind, in your mind, you can tell that she's no longer speaking as crazily as she has been to you recently. But she's got a different set of priorities now.
Oh, this is detect thoughts.
Okay. Of
Same.
detect thoughts
Of Aurora, basically.
of Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you are getting focused, coherent thoughts from her that you hadn't ever gotten from any of the statues before. This is now a thinking, planning, living being.
As far as a statue can live.
Well, it's not a live statue anymore.
It's so yes,
Kind of.
she's not a statue anymore, and the statues you think are more metaphorical than like actual physical statues.
They are sort of representatives for the gods.
Right. And as you all kind of look around, Jet looks horrified.
That's good.
Like he's a mixture of, or well, they are a mixture of angry and horror and yeah.
Does it move?
Yeah, he's been moving a little bit, or they've been moving a little bit this entire time.
Like out of their position in the circle?
No.
Okay.
Still rooted in the same place. The feet, like the feet shift in place, but they don't shift and they don't move out of their place. Right. Same with Aurora. She kind of leans over and caresses Hollick's face in a very affectionate way, but again, her form doesn't get any closer to the center of the circle when she does this. Hollick, you are in incredible, like a mixture of ecstasy and agony, and confusion, probably.
Yay!
Sounds like a panic attack.
Yeah, really close. Think if you've had the most ecstatic panic attack that you've ever thought of.
I got something I want to do now that I see Jet is getting worried.
Okay.
I'm saying this because the friends might want to stop him or not. That's up to them. He's been standing where he took that one step forward since last session.
Yep.
Looking at Jet, looking at Aurora, and figuring out, thinking, you kind of see the light bulb go off over his head, and he sets off sprinting.
All right.
Towards Jet?
The empty
Nope.
space
The empty space, the one where
where I was.
I've got the Heartstone.
Everybody else is a little closer to that space than you are. You have a couple advantages. So, like your rocket jump spear. If anybody wants to stop Grunthos, it'll be a contested dexterity roll, because that seems like a good stand-in for speed. Grunthos, you have advantage on the roll. Everybody else is just a flat roll if they want to try to stop him from running towards this open space.
Sam, I can use something else.
Okay, what are you going to use?
I'm going to use Gust of Wind to blow him out of the way.
Okay.
Blow him back, or
I can blow Gust of Wind, so I'm closer to the empty space, right?
Yep.
If I'm blowing that, a line of strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide blasts from you in the direction you choose for the spell's duration. So I'm blowing him away from the spot. He needs to do a save thingy, I think.
Each turn that starts turn must succeed in a strength saving throw. All right. Strength saving throw from Grunthos to be able to move that direction.
DC 16 for you as well, Verdros?
Do I need to do DC? Wait,
what is your spell save DC on spells on the top?
DC 16, yes.
All right, so Grunthos, you start in that direction. Get about halfway there. Verdros casts his spell, and you are stuck. Verdros, you see like a trail of fire being fanned by your flame exiting like the backside of Grunthos as he leans forward against this wind. He is locked in place, but he is unable to proceed forward.
Basically.
So I see fire coming out of...
Yes,
Grunthos.
You see fire coming out of Grunthos, much like you in the past have seen him use his spear to leap great distances. That sort of fire, and that's just barely holding him in place.
Otherwise, he would be blown backwards. Okay.
I kind of want to get closer, if I can talk to him.
You can use your ring.
Ring, right? Okay, I'll use my ring. Are you sure you want to do that? We don't know what will happen if you enter that spot. If you were stuck here forever.
Jet is freaking out.
Yes,
I
that's
don't
good.
care about me that much.
We do.
I look towards Aurora because I recognize the jewel from the god my sister used to worship.
Yes, you do. And she kind of tilts her head at you, questioningly.
Is she okay?
She's not in any apparent distress. All right.
That's good.
Horgold, Hollock, what are you guys doing?
I think I'm still somewhat incapacitated by this event.
Fair enough.
While everybody was busy with Grunthos, I will go to the first winter card, that is Diamond.
Okay.
And I'll touch it.
Okay, so you touch this you feel the heat from behind you, as Grunthos is struggling against this blast of wind, and you approach the diamond statue and touch it, and the statue is cold but not unfeeling, and you see color go into the statue, kind of a dark white. Marble is a really good analog. So the statue slowly fills with color, and looking seeing this, your hand touching this, your hand is slowly going paler and paler, and you feel like this pulling sensation on you, that feels cold but not angry. And the longer you stand there touching this, the less real you appear to be, and the more real the statue appears to be. All right, so after about a minute, the wind dies down, and
It's concentration, I think so.
Up to 1 minute.
Up to
Yes.
1 minute. Okay.
so and so the pressure, Grunthos, suddenly goes away, and you like stumble a little bit and then right yourself. Give me another dexterity roll.
Who?
Grunthos. Save.
Normal dexterity save, or
Dexterity save.
with just normal,
Just
no
normal
advantage to
numbers.
this.
Okay, so you start to fumble the gem in your hand a little bit, and then you kind of catch yourself and catch the gem, and you're like on kind of the superhero landing type thing, where you got the gem in one hand on the ground, you're kneeling on one knee, in the other hand is the spear kind of propping you up, a little dazed and confused, but still, like the sudden loss of pressure caused you to stumble a little bit, but you managed to hold on to the gem.
I make a
Try.
sound of admiration.
Keep trying to walk towards the.
All right, we're not going to do a contested roll. So, as you guys see Grunthos walking toward this location, he becomes less and less real, and more made of fire. Not like like a fire elemental, kind of, where the form itself is made of fire. The fire does not leave the form. Any of you can, like, he's not walking too fast. Any of you can get in front of him or beside him or around him, as you see fit.
Do I have the idea that something changed about Jet in the
Jet hasn't, his expression hasn't changed. He's looking angry and upset, but that really hasn't changed since Aurora did what she did.
And he's looking materialized, or he's looking the same?
So it's he was always kind of this black inky form, and that looks basically the same.
Anyone got an idea?
Not really.
Gruntos
I
has
say-
an idea and he's
well-
acting on it.
Yes, and Grantho's ideas will. All right, so you all hear a gasp from behind you, and see Horgold pull his hand away from the statue, with the diamond heart. Her form is like there's some color there that wasn't there before, and he is looking pale and shivering. And it takes about 30 seconds later, the color fades from the statue, and Horgold's color and like shiveriness slowly returns.
Granthos, maybe we can ask that thing, Aurora, or whatever it's become now, first a few questions before we take actions. Don't be too hasty. Jet's still in his place, so I mean, when he starts running towards you, might be able to run to the place. We're pretty close now.
So the form of Aurora speaks. Or rather, her mouth moves, and you guys all hear words entering, but not your ears. In kind of a cacophonic, overlapped voice. She says, "You may call me Daha now."
So she changed from Aurora to the god Daha.
So did Aurora, quote unquote, I'll do air quotes, die or cease to exist?
She kind of makes a thoughtful expression and says, "I did not die, and I am who I was, but I am not who I was. I am both more and different than Aurora, and it is inappropriate for me to continue to hold her name."
Right.
Is can Jet be vanquished?
He cannot be killed except by the same means that killed Raya. And how do I put this? He can be vanquished by the same means that Raya was killed.
Raya is not Farah, right?
Oh, sorry, not Raya, Farah.
Right.
Sorry, brain fart. But the cost to destroy him is more than any mortal could bear. more than mortality can bear. That's a better way to put it.
Is there a way to slow him down? Not immediately kill him or vanquish him, but just keep him contained for a while, so we have more.
He could be trapped in much the same way that my sisters and I were trapped. And with time, he too would fade as my sisters did. But the things, the objects to trap him, or the object to trap him would cost you more iron than the world can afford to spend.
So it's basically sacrificing the world or sacrificing our lives.
I say, what about that one? And I aim at the Headless Knight.
He is new and not very powerful yet. The cost to destroy him may be yet within mortal reach.
Great.
So long as his followers do not gain much strength, he may be able to be removed from this place.
Would this help destroying it? I'll raise up the gem.
If that is placed within his heart, and then the ritual is correctly, the ritual to destroy a god is correctly completed, then that would be destroyed, and with it he would lose his hold on this planet, this world.
And if I keep it away from him, does that hinder him in some way?
It makes him unable to travel beyond the nearby area where he is and affect the wider world.
Okay, that's good.
Where are we now, if I may ask?
You are in the home of the gods. This is the nexus where all of our powers cross.
I look over towards the empty space, having stopped, and look back at Daha. Will this return Farah to this place?
Farah cannot be returned, for she has been slain. In time, if nothing fills this gap, then it will close, and the power contained within will dissipate away.
You say it's
Redirect
beyond.
this power?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Strix.
Can we redirect this power?
Yes.
You say it is beyond mortal power to kill the god or to kill Jet. I don't think you are mortal, am I right?
I am not mortal, but as he has discovered, points at Striggs. No god can act directly to affect any other god because we cannot approach each other.
But can you affect us so we can get closer to him? And we are more powerful than a mortal.
To do so would consume all of my power and leave a gap, much as you see to my right, and she points at the spot of Farah, or my left. Sorry.
Okay. I was just thinking out loud here.
While this happens, I'll try and help Hollock to get up and comfort him a bit.
Hollow, you've mostly recovered at this point. You feel strange.
I bet.
Do I have any knowledge about the Nexus in my magical notebook?
No. None of you have ever heard of this place. All right. Some important keeping of what's going on. Grunthos, are you still trying to get to Farah's location? And is anybody going to try to stop him if he does?
I had stopped to listen, but
Right.
I had the conversation to him, but then
I'm keep walking towards the seems silly to let God and her followers just up and vanish.
can I look at Inan, the god to the left of Raya or our right, and cast Knock
On Inan?
on the statue? If there's like some kind of lock on there, it might because they're sealed away, right? That's my reasoning.
There's nothing. No effect.
Just hard knocking.
Yeah, you hear a knocking sound.
Okay.
Grantos, watch out. If you go inside of that spot, maybe you will transform to a god as well, and then you can't do anything against Jet anymore. Remember.
Well, that's a positive outcome. What if his body would just be consumed?
I know, but still, he won't be able to do anything anymore.
Like 2 steps away, you hear Daha's voice ring out, and she says, "Wait, child," and definitely is directed at Grunthos. If you do this, you will forever be what you become, with all of its benefits and downsides. You will never see your family again. You will never see your friends again, unless perhaps they return here. You will become more than you are, but you will unable to remain what you are.
I think you would lose more than you win. I say against to Gruntos.
I am learning that perhaps I wasn't as bright as I thought when I commanded my lovely Hollock to take me here. My greed overwhelmed my wisdom, and my mother and grandmother will mourn for the loss of me.
Do we still have those shady forms
Sorry?
behind us? Like there was in the beginning?
Right.
Shady
I-
forms.
Yeah,
I wanted to
there
look.
was
Yeah,
like
there's
there
a
was
couple of
like
us.
a couple of us who had some
Oh,
form behind that.
Yes, we
Like
wanted to look at
Hollock.
Earth, basically.
so Earth still has the creature thing with bound about his neck. Vergeros, you still well with magical energy. Striggs, you still see the like necrotic energy in the arm that's holding this. Yeah. Horgold still is neither there nor not, depending on what he would like. The only one that's really changed is Hollock no longer has a form leaning over his shoulder, whispering in his ear. He now is you see the glow of righteous fury emanating from his breast.
Because he's a paladin now. Wait. Do I recognize that fiercey thing as him being a paladin now instead of the...
No, you see that he's changed, but not how, not why.
Okay.
Daha, there's one big difference between you and me.
She like tilts her
You-
head a little bit.
You did this because you wanted more power, more anything. I'm doing this because I want to protect my friend.
She nods at you in kind of a sad way. With that, I don't think any of you are going to be able to stop Grunthos from doing what he's doing. So you all see Grunthos's form enter this wellspring of power and scatter, like his form scatters, and the light, the whitest hot flame you can imagine, bursts forth from the location where he stood up. Like the heat is enough to drive all of you away a step or two or three. And as you watch, this flame slowly dies down, and you see the form of Grunthos standing, larger than life, in the location of the wellspring of power. So all of these statues around are just slightly oversized people. Like they're instead of being maybe 6 foot tall, they're like 7 foot tall, proportioned as if, proportioned appropriately for a normal sized human, as just, somebody took the scale function and made them a little bigger. You all see the form of Grunthos, larger than life but smaller than the remainder of the forms. Because, well, Grunthos is a kobold, and he, like, this definitely still kobold form, and it's definitely still Grunthos, but in every respect, the most kobold that you can imagine a kobold being. In his
Great.
right hand, you see the spear of fire held kind of casually at a kind of resting angle, wrapped around the like behind him and the left side of him. You see a Granthos. What kind of dog did you have?
Mastiff.
I thought it was Mastiff. I didn't want to get it wrong. So you guys see a dire Mastiff like wrapped around his left side. With
By
a
the way,
very
in life, dog was larger than.
yes. So, but you are larger than the dog. The dog is just really big. So this dire mastiff wrapped around his left side, like your hand when you reach down, Grunthos, is perfectly positioned to like scratch at the nape of the neck or the top of the head of this dog, who just turns at you and licks your hand and then smiles at all of you. And you have an incredible amount of knowledge about who Daha was, but you are not Daha.
Farah.
Farah.
Sorry, brain
Got
words. Farah, you are not Farah. And you know that you can never leave this place. Stepping out of this wellspring of power below you would not kill you, but effectively prevent you from, would remove you from existence.
Yep.
You know how to send your friends back from this place. This is the Nexus. The Nexus of the Gods. I guess you don't have a better name for it. And this is not a plane. Like it's not like the prime material plane or the plane of the Fae or any of the actual like planes. It is a place that exists because in some place of the reality of this world, the like power of the gods all has to cross at some point, and this is that point. So all of you, like, there's a bit of fuzziness, and you can, the rest of you are can recall but have trouble recalling the name Farah. And all that, when you look at Grunthos, you know that he is known as Emberthorn.
Emberthorn?
Yes. And also, Grunthos, you are no longer a character. We'll have to work out what that looks like.
Does his Ring of Whisper still work? Can we reach him like?
So you can approach him and reach him. The only magical item that he has left is the spear. Like, he doesn't have the ring of communication or anything like that anymore. Actually, correction. All of his mortal belongings, other than the spear, are laid out like in front of him, like folded neatly.
I ask if I can take his stuff with us, because it could be useful for us still.
For me, it is no. I no longer need it, but out of character, it would depend on how that works since I'm as
That's fine. I'll also let you like answer and stuff questions here. But you're no longer able to like act. Like you can't just instantly grant the party like 10 billion gold or
Right. Can I ask?
That was not what I was thinking about.
Right.
Can I ask Emberthorn if how he still has the spear while all of his other items are there, which might relate to Sam?
So to answer the question for Grunthos, the spear is an intelligence that assisted in Grunthos becoming what he became. The only reason that Grunthos was able to do what he did is because he had the spear in one hand, which was fire, and the heartstone in the other. Grunthos, or rather Emberthorn, I'm going to need to talk a lot to you about what all this is going to work out to being.
Yep. Just hit me up whenever.
Yep. All right, so you now have so you all hear a weaselly, nasal, echoey voice kind of come over to you. And they say, "Well, wasn't that fun? Are you guys done ruining my day?"
Who said that?
The voice came from Jet. Oh, hey,
Sound
actually,
anything like Alfad, or like a Abu Alfahad?
I'm sorry. Run that question by me again.
Does it sound anything like Abu Alfahad?
No, it sounds nothing like him.
Do we recognize the voice as someone else than Jet's?
You hear an overtone in one of the voices that make this voice up. Is NPCs.
I'm asking the difficult questions.
You're asking the questions I did not prepare for.
Haven't we been all session?
Pretty much. Borghild, for those of you who knew her.
Negative.
What about Borghild? The
Jets.
Jets sound like Borghild.
One of Jet's voices.
So Jets is made up from different more than one person / whatever it is.
Like Daha's voice sounded the same sort of like multiple voices made it up. Emberthorn's voice is only Grunthos's voice, or was only Grunthos's voice.
Does this mean Grunthos only has one personality and the others have different personalities? Or different, how do you call it?
The second I recognize Borghild's voice, there's a frown and a scowl on the face of Emberthorn.
What?
Daha looks at you and says, "My voice is made up partly by those who believe in me. Brother Emberthorn does not yet have enough believers on the planet below to sound like we do.
Okay. I agree.
Well, Daha said the voices represent the believers. Does that mean Borgil still?
So Daha kind of shakes her head and Jet says, as one of my most powerful followers, she infused in me a little bit of who she was. Living or dead, that legacy lives on.
Yeah. So friends, you want to go?
I don't want to leave.
Or do you want to stay and ask questions for the rest of eternity?
Is there a way to get back here? Like via transportation or teleportation or anything? Because I have that sigil.
Divination.
Is plane shift a spell?
Yep, there are plane shift spells.
So Daha says, if you know where you are going, a spell that shifts you across the planes should be able to get you here.
Plane shift is a spell. It is a level 7th conjuration spell. Contact other plane is level 5th divination.
So
I might need to study up.
Contact other. You get from Daha that contact other plane will not contact here, but plane shift cast correctly by somebody who knows exactly where to go could get here.
Right.
Could you maybe guide me in the direction where to learn it or how to learn it easily? Because I know where to go now. I just need to get information about the spell or learn the spell.
She holds out her hand.
I grab the hand.
You feel a surge of power, and you see, like everybody else sees the like magical power inside of Vergeros like flash green for a moment. And she says, once you have become powerful enough to cast that spell, you will know how to cast it.
It requires a forked metal rod worth at least 250 GP attuned to a plane of assistance, it says, but...
Well, she just gave him a whole bunch of knowledge.
Cost again? How is it
plane
called?
shift.
Yeah, plane shift. It's 7th level spell. Even if it's not in the sorcerer list, it's now in yours.
It is in the sorcerer list.
Well, then you can pick it up once you can cast 7th level spells.
7th, yeah.
Well, that's handy. Thank you.
So, Grantos, and Emberton, who's gonna captain the ship?
And who is going to fly it?
Asking the real questions?
Yes.
Okay. So both Daha
Straight-
and Jet start like laughing.
Strix has been paying attention. He can fly. As for Captain, why not you, Horgold?
Maybe. We'll discuss this in the group.
This is something that you need to decide for yourselves. But Strix has been attentive enough that he should figure out how the controls work if he doesn't know.
I can always help him a little bit as well. I
Yeah.
figured out a few parts and bits as well.
If there's nothing else you want to do, here,
Can
maybe.
can I do one more thing, and I'll try and cast Cone of Cold on Jet.
Yeah, so yes, you can absolutely cast Cone of Cold. So that's a great question, Grunthos. What is Ember Thorn's holy symbol? Also, Cone of Cold on Jet. So you blast this like depths.
I don't
of,
like a sleth. Laugh.
Depths of winter, like powerful blast emanates from you, and it like rolls over and around him and doesn't ever seem to like touch him at all.
Makes sense.
Is it like he has a shield around him, or
No,
just...
he's warping around the spell, basically, right?
The spell is not even warping around him, it's just unable to touch him.
Right.
Like there's this hole in the spell that is the exact same physical dimensions of Jet.
Well, I think we're ready to go back. If no one else has any questions.
I would like to kind of try and hug.
you try to get to Grunthos, and with
Right,
the
fucking
gem
gem
in your hand, you are unable to get to him.
Can
and-
someone else hold this for a moment,
And
please?
Grunthos, if you try to reach out to him, you find yourself unable to touch him as long as he's holding that gem.
I'll take the gem over from you, Strix, for a second.
All right.
Okay.
Oh
no.
Vergeros, holding this gem is the most painful thing you have ever experienced. You can tell that it hates you and wants you to carry it over to the skeletal knight, and the hatred beats upon your consciousness, and like you find yourself taking a hesitant half step, just like out of pure reflex towards the knight, and there's like this deep lust from the stone to be moved in that direction, but you're able to stop yourself. Striggs, once you have relinquished the stone, all of you now see like this necrotic energy leave Striggs and enter Vergeros, damping Vergeros's like this internal welling magical fire that he had before, and like Striggs has much similar magic welling from him, but where Vergeros's like magic was like welling up from deep within his chest and like overflowing out over him, Striggs's magic is like you can get this sensation of it's coming down from his head and out through his hands and feet and body. So very similar,
sense.
but just a little bit differently directed.
Strix, you could have warned me first.
Hey, I gotta hug someone.
And now you are
And
able
I-
to approach Grunthos. Grunthos's dire mastiff like gives you your hand a warm, wet, actually no, warm, dry lick as you approach.
I'll put my hand on his head to pet it and continue walking.
Are you big enough to reach his hand, Strix? Head?
The side of his head.
Yes.
Right. The other side, or his chin.
That-
Fine.
You get that happy dog I'm being scratched expression from the pup. Yes, and yes, you are able to give Grunthos a hug. No problems.
Thanks.
It is
Thank
the
you.
warmest hug you have ever experienced in your life. It is full of like if you are laying out in the like bright blue clear sky, green grass all around you, laying in the noonday sun, and it just like the coolness of the grass behind you and the just penetrating heat of the sun above you, that only the entirety of your body as Grunthos wraps you in a hug.
Thanks for your help, friend. And I really like you, you know?
Now you can help me help our friends. But this spot needed to be filled.
We'll try to get here at some point. So we can see you again.
Does this mean that there's an extra month again? The Farah's month?
Farah's month has been restored. At that point, you see the form holding like a wrapped around Earth's neck, like scream, but in like kind of disappointment, and the connection sever, and you see this like life energy inside of Earth start flowing out unconsumed, I guess you'd say, and filling his form.
So he's becoming normal again. Figure of speech.
Daha nods and says his contract is fulfilled because he has helped to solve the removal of Ruby.
Does this also mean that we are back in time again to where the month disappeared?
She smiles.
I guess that's a yes.
She just smiles at you.
We'll probably figure out when we get back.
Maybe, but I like a decent answer.
Is that something I would know?
So the answer is both yes, you would know that, and yes, sort of. So it was the 19th of Ruby, and it's been a week, so that would put it as 26th ish. So it's probably on the order of the 1st of Carnelian, because the 27th of Ruby would be the 1st of Carnelian.
A week back, basically.
Well, we won a week again.
Oh,
Thank you.
Interesting question. Are months shorter now? Since the extra god.
No.
There's just an extra month now?
Do we know?
See, we
Daha
counted the
nods.
Oh. So yeah, probably.
And the extra month is right before or after Jet?
It's after the summer gods, right?
Yep. It is
And before fall.
The skeleton god.
Yes.
is between Fire Opal and Topaz.
Do you know what powers that he has? Can you tell us that? Or what alignments and such?
Out of character, I can go over that with you. In character, that's not necessarily a sensible question. He is the god of undeath. Is what the answer, I guess, to that question is. So he is the god of undeath.
Okay. But that's out of character, right?
Well, no, in character, she would tell you that he is the god of undeath. Out of character, I can cover like domains and stuff if you want.
Okay. So that means the god of undeath, all the undead are more powerful in that month, right?
Right.
Very likely, at least, anyway. There's no precedent.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It has been fun, friends. But now, I think you must continue the job we started.
I'll take back the gem from Vergeros.
Thank you.
Vergeros, like, it feels so good to not be holding on to that thing anymore. You feel alive, and you didn't realize that you didn't feel alive.
I'm back feeling the same.
And Striggs, it is horrible and terrible, but you're kind of almost used to it.
Great.
But it's really not pleasant.
No, definitely not.
You're used to feeling very bad.
This helps a little bit.
It's like if you have ever had like the flu and you've been out for 2 weeks because you've been so sick. You know, that first day, that the feeling that you had when you gave up the gym, Striggs, was that first day when you're feeling fine, you don't feel bad at all, and now it feels like you know you have that nasty, muscle achy, creaky flu again.
Yep.
But yes, it is. You still have your damage resistance to necrotic, which helps. Like,
that's it.
To everybody looking, Striggs looks less sick from holding this gem than Vergeros did.
All right. Well,
let's go
I think
home.
it's time.
All right.
Take care of the ship and tell my sister she did right.
Who takes the stuff to bring to your sister? How is your sister called? Because I have never. No, I did not.
She is Kiva Emberthorn.
All right. So you guys watch as Emberthorn takes the spear in both hands and raises it up before him and brings the butt of it down on the ground in front of him, and a wave of fire blasts out from in front of him, engulfing you all. You wake up in your bed sweating, as like, not as from a fever, but if you've ever been in a room, a sauna, where you're just so hot you can't stand it anymore. And all of your clothes, like, there's just this kind of singed cloth smell about all of you. And you look like your bed covers are all singed slightly. Your clothes are all just that over dried in a dryer.
I'll make sure to get a nice smell on every one of us when we get together. And also, I can do this again.
All right.
You can do what again?
No, the divination thing.
Right.
Okay.
So you guys all recover as if from a long rest, and you come out And it is sunrise on, I believe, we can get the time frame correct again. But per my notes, it should be the sunrise of the...
First.
So the 7th of Carnelian was session 40. I didn't actually write down session 41.
It would have been the 8th right now, I think. And in my notes. If this was the 9th.
So was the night of the 8th, or was the...
No, it was we went
7th
with
to the
teleportation circle to Magda, and then with teleportation again to Kartuk. So it went pretty fast, and then we traveled really fast to our ship.
So it is...
that was in the early evening.
It is sunrise.
The 8th of Carnelian in the old time.
It would be the 8th of Carnelian, so 19th, 26 minus 19. Oh my goodness. Brain is 7 days.
7.
So
So
it
the
is
2nd of
2nd of Carnelian.
Yeah, right.
This makes my notes very confused, by the way, because the dates in my notes go 19th Ruby, 2nd Carnelian, 1st Carnelian, 1st Carnelian, 7th Carnelian, 7th Carnelian, 7th Carnelian, 2nd Carnelian.
Yep.
Hey, you made it like that.
You're right, but yes, early morning, like the sun is like that perfect, the warm glow in the air of the golden hour of morning, as the sun just starts to rise over the eastern horizon.
It's the middle of summer, so yeah.
It's relatively early morning. All right. I think because we got a lot of out of character wrap up to do, because I was very mean to a couple characters. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up there so I can work out what that looks like with them. And so I think we will end the session there, guys. Thank you everybody for listening. For those of you who are listening and watching, thank you to all my players for being amazing and sticking with me for that. I hope to see you all again next week. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.